Good morning, good morning. Lighten up. What are we missing out on? Oh my goodness, what are we missing out on? Let me tell you about a competition that they did one time, and it was to see, about people being lucky and not lucky. And what they did was they ran a competition in a newspaper and they said, how many pictures are in this newspaper? And so people had to literally, how quickly could they come back with the answer? The thing was, is that on page 2, it actually said, stop looking, there's 43 pictures. That actually gave them the answer. But only the people who weren't taking the competition seriously, who were light of heart, saw that. And they went, oh, look, they've given us the answer. It's right here. Everybody else is counting. Do you know, I realized that was me up until today, always looking for the most complicated, when the answer is right there, right in front of you, and you can't even see it, because you've put so much importance on getting something, having something. And what I've realized is that the universe brings us an equal and opposite reaction, because the universe is always looking for balance. Always looking for balance. So if you put too much importance on something, it will bring the equal and opposite way to make it unimportant. So in other words, if you want something, you want it, you will bring an opposing force that makes sure it stays away from you. It's the pendulum effect. Equal and opposite reaction. Equal and opposite reaction. Hands up here, who has wanted something for so long? How long have you wanted it? That very want is keeping it from you. And I've said that so many times, but when you look at it, it's like a swing, isn't it? And you're pushing, and there's nothing in the swing, and there's nobody to push the swing with, and you're just pushing it, and it keeps coming back to you, but you have to keep doing it, and you're not getting anywhere. And when we can start to link with a group of people who are all going in the same direction, then we're all pushing together, and that we create another pendulum effect, but we're doing it lightheartedly rather than having to want, knowing that it just is, it is. And we can create another force of a group of people going forward. So, you see, like my story, but one of the things that I had manifested was to be number one in a corporate team. And that meant I was 10%, top 10% of the company globally. But I actually didn't care. I didn't have to walk around believing it. What I did was I ran on a mountain. I used to run in the mountains every morning, and I would go, I am CEC number one, I'm CEC number one. And I would literally run saying that, and I would laugh and I would joke. Well, I was there, and I got there. I really didn't put the effort. I never looked at sales. I never counted figures. Aren't people always saying that what you can't measure, you can't grow? But I found when I looked at figures, anybody else like that? When I looked at figures, it just like sent me into turmoil going, oh my God, don't look at the figures. So I refused, even though people were telling me from the September that I was CEC number one, I didn't believe it, because the only CEC time I wanted to hear was when my name was announced on the stage. I didn't want to hear it before then, because I was only number one when I was number one. And I also wanted 100 grand. And so I would say that over and over again, but I would laugh, because I actually don't think I believed that it would happen, to be honest. So I laughed about it. And then I got made redundant. So I got my 100 grand and I was made number one at the same time. But I was out that night celebrating with friends, something else. And I had a glass of champagne in my hand when my friend phoned me and she went, oh my goodness, Sheena, you're CEC number one. And I was like, yes, I did it. I mean, nobody else around me had a clue what was going on, but I was standing there fully dressed with a glass of champagne in my hand. I just wasn't at the event. I'd never seen myself on the stage. That wasn't what I cared about. And then the other little miracle that happened was that we had an award-winning trip, which obviously I wasn't going on. And so that was to Iceland. And I thought, well, that would have been nice. My goodness, all expenses paid to Iceland. How nice would that be? And then what happened was in the January, my friend says, I booked us a surprise trip away for my birthday. I'm paying for everybody. And so I'm not telling you where it is. I'll tell you a week before we go so that you get the right clothes to go. That's okay. Well, guess what she did? She took us to Iceland. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I went, are you kidding me? Like, are you kidding me? What involvement did I have in any of that? Except not caring. I placed no importance on it whatsoever. So there was no opposing force for it to happen. And all I did was make a joke of it. This one said about lighten up. Lighten up. I spoke to a girl yesterday and she was laughing about what she'd be like when she's older. I mean, and criticizing herself in that point and laughing, basically pulling herself down with a joke. And I went, can you just not do that? Like, if there's ever any advice I would give you is stop taking the mickey out of yourself and thinking you're being funny. Stop like laughing about, oh, look at me, I'm going to end up like this, and saying it in a negative form. That's what's going to happen because you're being light about it and you don't care and you don't even think about it. They're the things that are going to happen. But the things that you place importance on, you're going to bring an opposing force that stops it from coming. Do you get it? So let's create our own pendulum effect of just love, joy, happiness, and peace, and create that as a pendulum effect. Wouldn't that be brilliant if we could just literally push that forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, and then it starts to swing. And then we just have to tap the swing to keep it going. We've got to keep the energy going because the swing creates its own energy, doesn't it then? And it will go backwards and forwards. We can't create that energy just on our own. Well, we can, but when you have two or more people together, isn't that what it said in the Bible? When two or more people get together in my name, the force. Join my group. It'll be great to have you in there. If you feel and resonate with this message, then let's create this force together of joy, love, happiness, and peace. And just carefree, lighten up. That's when things will start to swing in our favor. And we will bring more of that. Not because we have to, just for the pure joy of it. That's why I had that phrase for the last couple of years. Just for the pure joy. What can you do today just for the pure joy of it? Have your goal just for the pure joy of it. Don't care that you have it, because the more you care, the more you pull in the opposite force for it not to come. Let it go today. Just for today. Let it go and see what pops back from the universe. If you're looking for money to join the Thinking into Results program, let it go. Let it go. Lighten up. Have an amazing day with joy, love, peace. Lighten up. See ya.